Peace and Black Power family, this is your host Rahiem Shabazz, and we are here for another episode of Necessary Blackness podcast. And today, family, I want to talk about the Supreme Court ruling dealing with affirmative action. Now, we have to look at the word affirmative action, and we have to understand when and where the term was first adapted that we know of. And that was during the Kennedy administration. And during that time, Kennedy felt that the government needed to act affirmatively to end discrimination on the basis of race and religion. So today you have wealthy white conservative families such as Coors, DeVos, Koch, and Hunts who are using their massive resources to reverse the gains of the civil rights movement and to ensure white supremacy remains in power. If you go online, you will see that many people are talking about Clarence Thomas, and they're acting like Clarence Thomas is the deciding vote. Like Clarence Thomas is the one who made all of this happen. He was strategically put there to ensure that it happened, but he wasn't the deciding factor. In order to really understand his position and how he was placed into power, we have to go back to the 1980s. In the 1980s, Ronald Reagan appointed Jay Parker, who is considered the founding father of the black conservative movement. He was a mentor and a father figure to Clarence Thomas. But in order to understand that, right, you have to understand why Ronald Reagan put Jay Parker, a black American, in position of power. He did it so that he can run interference and take back the gains of the civil rights movement. That's why he appointed him to the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission. And it was President Bush who placed Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court to do the same thing. See, what you got to understand, family, is that racism and white supremacy don't take no breaks. They strategically plan things years and decades in advance. So when we look and we do a deep dive into Jay Parker, we know that he was registered as a lobbyist for the South African government, and he received $360,000 a year plus expense before taking a position with the Reagan administration. So he was already on the take. And we know as of recently, it has been reported that Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas was receiving vacations, homes, and every other expense paid for by one of his rich donors who had an interest in getting certain things done. So they're all in on the tape. And we have to understand that they all work together and that they would use one of us to destroy one of us. So that's why the saying goes, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Peace and Black Power family. This is Rahiem Shabazz. Make sure you continue to check us out on the Necessary Blackness podcast. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me wherever there is social media, and it's at Rahiem Shabazz.